Well, since that didn't go well, they have these student. What it is they have these students coming on Fox News from this. Some portion of the university population is convinced that they're under the impression that the health care the president has put in place is sort of all bad. You know, has problems that should be worked out and move forward, but that's not what they're telling people. So there's a student on his. What, you want to change the channel? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to help. I don't know where the remote is to see what color you want to send me to. All I would just with the main thing we were saying is it's a student from one of our universities. They're bringing them on now. They're under the impression that the problems with the with with the healthcare Obama's put in place, that they're basically under the impression that the whole thing was sort of a failure and negative, and that, remember, there's not, without, if it's repealed, there's nothing to put in its place, but something's there now. We should work out the problems and move forward. A lot of the student population is under the impression, I guess they got it from the media system and the political party that's working on taking it down. They got that impression. But see, there's an example of that's a young person, and they've all said this. In addition to thinking that it should be repealed, they're all saying something which they do hear in their like economics and politics classes. Economics textbooks have it in it now, which is this lie about how our economy functions. But he just said it, and it's further by the media system. It's in a lot of people's heads that this healthcare doesn't work, and the main thing they keep pointing to, and this young person is sort of under the misimpression that it's what they're saying is another example that when the government involves themselves in things, it all fails. And the thing is, in economics classes, they to college students, they do tell them that this myth that like the government doesn't and shouldn't play a role like in anything, and especially things that in economics, in anything, and that it's when the government's involved, it's very bad. Things have to come through like the private sector. Okay. Is that, I mean, they're telling them that. The way our economy works and has always worked, now is that all the real all the large scale innovation and things that the driver for the high tech sector, where everything we live with, from computers to cell phones to satellites to aerospace. That was all developed with our tax dollars funneled through the dynamic state sector, either through NASA or the military. That's how our economy has always worked. That what's called it goes from it's that defense spending thing. It's a mechanism for the high tech economy, but in addition to that all the high-tech things that have driven the economy for a long time and that we live with were developed with tax dollars into the dynamic state sector. The other thing is we also, one of our, some of our major, industries like agriculture are entirely state subsidized. The state plays a major role in the development of our economy and particularly the high tech sector. So the government is the state is and has been involved in our economy for the whole time. But what's happening now? There would, by the way, and of course, there would be no way to have an affordable healthcare system or a national healthcare system without the state playing a role. The idea that it would appear from where the corporate, from the where else would an affordable healthcare program for or universal healthcare come from? Like in Massachusetts, where they have universal healthcare. Like the idea that was that something you could think of as possible without the Massachusetts the state government being involved in it? How's that possible? So in order to have national healthcare, of course the state would play a role. but the state also plays a role and has always played a role in the development of the high-tech economy and is a major feature of how our economy grows and works. Subsidy into the dynamic state sector, either funneled through military research or through NASA. That's a feature of our economy. But certainly, like a healthcare system, universal healthcare isn't gonna not involve the state. If you actually look, like, the relationship between states and markets is a complex one here, but it's certainly not an issue of the government needing to get out of the way or something. No, the state and the market work together, and they've always worked together. They're just telling people this weird sort of myth about, like, the government shouldn't be involved in it. It is involved in things. They fill young people's heads with that shit.